I'm an artist and illustrator, Montana native, born and raised in Billings. Have traveled around a little bit, but thought that Billings would be the perfect place to raise a family. In addition to being a teacher here in Billings, I'm a freelance illustrator, and I work primarily in sort of the pop culture universe, creating licensed stuff for companies like Lucasfilm or Marvel, Paramount.
But a lot of the work that Russell Walks does isn't available to the general public. That is, unless you happen to stumble upon his pop-up shop on North Broadway in downtown Billings.
Thought it might be cool if every once in a while I'd kind of gather together and organize some of the stuff I've done and throw up a little show here in Billings, so my friends and family can see kind of what I do when I'm not teaching.
Before he could even speak, Russell spent hours coloring. Now, he's churning out top-tier artwork for some of the largest entertainment franchises in the galaxy. How? Well, dedication and determination.
My entire life, this is what I wanted to do. And I think I'm a big believer in that 10,000 hour rule. If you look at some of the stuff I did when I was, 16 or 17, you might wonder, this kid's fooling himself. I don't know what he's ever gonna, if he's ever gonna be an artist.
Subscribing to Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hour rule, Russell's developed craft opened doors for him, allowing him to meet scores of fans and industry insiders, for better and for worse.
One time I was at a convention and I had all of my artwork out, and there was an older lady, this was 6-7 years ago, there was an older lady looking at it, and she was smiling. I could tell it was really affecting her. And she said, "Oh my gosh, Mark would love this. Wouldn't Mark like this?" She was talking to some people with her. "I think Mark would like this. I'm going to set this aside." And she put this aside. And then she said, "Mark looks great in this." So I kind of stepped forward and I said, "Hi, are you talking about Mark Hamill?" And she looked at me and, "Well, yes, I am." And I said, "Are you his mom?" And she said, "I'm his wife." And horrible. And so I kind of, backpedaled and moonwalked and did everything I could. I was like, well, when I see Mark Hamill, he's 19. So I I portray him. I constantly look, and of course you're a very beautiful lady. Why? Oh my goodness, And she walked away, and my wife just looked at me and said, "Nice going, Skippy."
Through the highs and the lows, Russell stayed focused. One, because it was his own lifelong passion, but also it's because the art that he creates represents so much more to so many different people.
Every single one of us is going on a sort of a hero's journey, the same way Luke does, or Frodo does, or Peter Parker, or whoever. And those journeys are relatively the same, for all of us. They're about finding out what we're made to do, finding out who we care about and who cares about us. And I think that's why these movies, especially pop culture movies and books, television series, affect us so greatly, is because we see ourselves in those. And if we can take a second and sort of remember that the reason we see ourselves is because we're all alike, maybe things will be better down the line for everybody.